My deep dish chocolate peanut butter pie is irresistible. I'm not kidding. And it all starts with a chocolate peanut butter cookie crust. I have 1/4 cup of unsalted butter softened here. I'll just combine it just for a second. Now I need 1/2 cup of light brown sugar. Just like when I was making my pecan cookies, you want to cream your butter and brown sugar together to smooth it out. I can't talk about nut cookies without making a peanut butter cookie. So this recipe calls for 1/2 cup of peanut butter. And it's just fine if you use conventional peanut butter or the pure. It works out exactly the same in the same measurements. Now that the peanut butter is worked in, I'll crack in an egg, and I'll add a teaspoon of vanilla. It's time for some flour, and I'm sifting my dry ingredients because I have to work in some cocoa powder. But first, I need a cup of all-purpose flour, and now I can measure my 1/4 cup of cocoa powder. I'm adding a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. That little measurement actually helps crisp up the cookie as it bakes. If you like crispy cookies, you bake using baking powder. If you like soft, chewy cookies, like the pecan ones, you use baking soda. And I need a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I'll just sift that in. And you just stir until blended. So I'll transfer this to a piece of plastic. Just flatten it into a disc and give it a chill. You can give this 30 minutes up to 2 hours to chill down. You'll find it easy to roll. You can even make this ahead and freeze it. Just thaw it in the fridge before you roll it. Grab my flour. I've got my rolling pin, and I have a 9-inch deep dish pie plate. Because I'm using a cookie dough, I grease my pie plate. Just gonna give the dough a slight kneading, just so it rolls easily. I can smell the peanut butter in it. I'll lift that up and over to my pie plate and set it into place. Now I'll grab my paring knife. I want to trim off the excess, so I hold the pie plate from the bottom and then just clean up the edges. I'm just crimping the sides. In addition to looking pretty, it holds the crust in place. Now, because I've softened this dough by rolling it, I need to chill it down, but it only takes about 30 minutes. In that time, you just preheat your oven to 350. Here is a chilled crust all ready for the oven. What you want to do is dock the bottom of the pastry with a fork. And that allows for steam to escape and for expansion. That way you don't get an air pocket in the bottom of the dough. What I love about this cookie dough crust is it stays in place as it bakes. So you just put it in the oven just like this at 350 and you let it bake for 20 minutes. And here's my cookie dough crust, cooled and ready to be filled. Before I get onto the peanut butter mousse, I want to build a ganache layer. Just any excuse to build in more chocolate and peanut butter flavor. So the first thing I'm going to do is sprinkle 1/2 cup of chopped peanuts in the bottom of the pie plate. I go for the salted peanuts, but you can use unsalted if you'd rather. And then I make a chocolate ganache to cover, kind of hide the peanuts underneath. Ganache is a simple ratio, 1-to-1 chocolate to whipping cream. I already have weighed 2 ounces of bittersweet chocolate, and now I'm going to measure out 2 ounces, or that means 1/4 cup, of whipping cream. Heat the whipping cream until it comes to a simmer. You don't need to melt the cream and the chocolate together, The heat from the cream is enough to melt the chocolate in a bowl. Now I'll pour the hot cream over the chocolate. And just move the chocolate around into the cream, letting it gently melt together. Hello, cream, meet chocolate. Chocolate, meet cream. Now I'll drizzle this all over the peanuts and just give it a little spreading. It won't cover all the way, but that's okay because this deep dish pie isn't about the chocolate ganache. It's about peanut butter mousse. What I have is a full package of cream cheese softened to room temperature, and I'm adding to that a full cup of peanut butter. Now I'll just pop this onto the mixer, and I really want to whip this up and fluff it up. It does take a scrape or two with a spatula, just to make sure the cream cheese and the peanut butter is evenly combined. And now I'll add 3/4 of a cup of icing sugar that I've already sifted. Now that I've added the icing sugar, it's softened up nicely. Now I'll add 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla. And the rest I take care of by hand. If I don't have the time to make my chocolate peanut butter crust, I just make this mousse and pipe it into cups and serve it. But it's not a mousse yet. So now it's time for the whipped cream. I've whipped 1.5 cups of whipping cream to a soft peak, and now I add it in 2 additions to the base. The first addition is just to lighten it up, so when I add the second batch of the whipped cream here, it stays light and fluffy. And now this gets spooned into the cookie crust. Oh, look at all of that. Oh, you know I lick the spatula in the bowl before it goes into the sink for washing. But for the pie, I just swirl the mousse around. When I was working on recipe ideas, I wrote down deep dish, chocolate, peanut butter pie. And when I went back and reread it, I thought, that sounds amazing. But I had no idea what it was. It was only till I got in the kitchen and started playing with it, I realized, well, I have to make it taste as good as it sounds. Now it's time to put this in the fridge to set. It's the cream cheese, once it chills, that gives the mousse its set so it slices cleanly. Give it a couple hours in the fridge. And after it's chilled, it is ready to serve. Just a little finishing touch with some grated chocolate. Wow, look at that as a dessert. You've got that chocolate peanut butter cookie crust, the chopped salted peanuts underneath, the layer of ganache, and then the peanut butter mousse to top it all off. What a combination. Oh, you're gonna go nuts for this one.